and a very warm welcome to Landmark Case Analysis, which is presented to you by Lawseco. This is Ankita Parida here. Now let's begin with our landmark case, Swiss Ribbon Private Limited versus Union of India. This is a landmark judgment given by the Honorable Supreme Court of India on 25th January 2019 by a two-judge bench. This landmark case is regarding the upholding the constitutional validity of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. The Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 is a bankruptcy law of India which seeks to consolidate the existing framework by creating a single law for insolvency and bankruptcy. This code is one-stop solution for resolving insolvency, which previously was a long process and that did not offer an economically viable arrangement. So, this code aims to protect the interests of small investors and makes the process of doing business less cumbersome. However, in numerous matters, the constitutional validity of the various provisions of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 has been challenged. Several writ petitions and special leave petitions were filed before the Supreme Court of India for challenging the constitutional validity of various provisions of this code. These numerous attacks challenging the validity of the code as well as the constitutional validity of the National Company Law Tribunal was brought before the Supreme Court of India with the Swiss Ribbon Private Limited versus Union of India. The Supreme Court of India has finally settled the challenges with regarding to this code. Now let's have a look at the issue of law involved in this case. Whether classification between financial creditor and operational creditor is violative of Article 14. Secondly, whether Section 7, Section 12A, Section 29A, and Section 53 of the IBC valid. Now let's have a look at the brief facts of this case. Swiss Ribbon Private Limited and other petitioners who are termed as appellants argued that the code is invalid for the following reasons. Firstly, it was pointed out that Section 29A of the code is invalid as the vested rights of the erstwhile promoters to participate in the recovery process of a corporate debtor has been impaired by retrospective application of the Section 29A. Under Section 29A, a blanket ban on participation on all promoters of corporate debtors without any mechanism to weed out those who are unscrupulous and have brought the company to the ground as against the person who are efficient managers but who have not been able to pay their debts due to various other reasons is arbitrary and does not treat unequals as equals. Under Section 29A, subsection J, relatives of the erstwhile promoters are also debarred despite the fact that they have no business connection with the erstwhile promoter who have been rendered ineligible by Section 29A. Regarding Section 7 of the IBC, it was contended that classification between financial creditor and operational creditor is violative of Article 14 of Indian Constitution as it is not only discriminatory but also arbitrary under Section 8 and 9 of the code. Further, unless operational creditor amount to 10% of the aggregate of the amount of debt owed, they have no choice in the committee of creditor. Also, under Section 21 and 24 of the Code, operational creditor do not have even a single vote in the committee of creditor, which has a very important function to perform in the resolution process of corporate debtor. Regarding Section 53 of the Code, the appellant contended that Section 53 is invalid as in the event of liquidation, operational creditors will never get anything as they rank below all other creditors, including other unsecured creditors who happen to be financial creditors. Also, Section 12A of the Code provides for the settlement process by requiring the approval of at least 90% of the voting share of the Committee of Creditors. Hence, huge amount of power is given to the Committee of Creditors to reject legitimate settlements entered into between the creditors and the corporate debtors. Hence, it was contended by the appellants that the threshold of 90% is too high and this makes the resolution process slow. Now we come to an end to the part 1 of this video. In the second part of this video, we'll look into the judgment given by the court. Also, we'll discuss the reasoning behind it. So this was all. Thank you.